Ah, yes, folks, I'm here in the magnificent city of Manchester, here actually in St. Peter's Square. Beautiful location, I have to say, and the place that is very much etched into the history of Wales. Come on, folks, into the story of Manchester. Ah, yes, the city of Manchester and St. Peter's Square. As I was saying, this is very much etched into the history books. For it was actually here, way back in 1819, the infamous Peterloo Massacre occurred. Ah yes, the quest for social reform had certainly started to gather momentum in the years immediately after the Napoleonic Wars. And Manchester was a city that certainly led the way in that quest for social reform. And here in St. Peter's Square, right in the heart of the city of Manchester, on that fateful day way back in 1819, a large crowd had gathered here. Well, militiamen were actually sent to disperse the crowd. Many were injured and some were actually killed in the ensuing melee. Some 4 years after the Battle of Waterloo, the skirmish here became known as the Peterloo Massacre. I think one can safely say, though, that the events that occurred here on that fatal day in 1819 certainly set in train many of the great social reforms that were to follow. Well, Manchester certainly is a large city, and a city with some pretty impressive architecture, that's for sure. Very much a marvel of Victorian architecture.
Can I?
Well, I've wandered into Manchester's Chinatown. I'll tell you one thing, it certainly won't be short of a few good venues to eat some pretty good food here. Manchester, of course, is a city famous for its cuisine. And there's certainly no shortage of good cuisine here. A great sporting city as well, of course, home to those two world-famous football clubs, Manchester United and Manchester City. Home also to the great Lancashire Cricket Club. Lancashire, of course, play their home matches at Old Trafford, here in the city of Manchester, which also, of course, is a world-renowned test match venue. There is some pretty good rugby played here in Manchester as well. Yes, it is home to Sale Sharks Rugby Union Club. It has a strong rugby league tradition as well. And as I was saying, some magnificent Victorian architecture. Wandering down Manchester's New York Street. Yes, folks, the city of Manchester. A lively Lancastrian city with a mighty fine vibe. Yes, Piccadilly Gardens. Yes, Manchester, folks. A city with a world-renowned sporting, musical and cultural tradition. And here, right outside Manchester Piccadilly Station, is this incredible sculpture. This is dedicated to soldiers who lost their sight during the First World War. And I'll tell you something, there were thousands of soldiers who did. A beautiful and poignant sculpture in every way. Ah, yes, folks, the city of Manchester. Well worth the visit.